another unexpected addition to this series, because Assassin's Creed Valhalla goes against Fake Challenge in a different way. And honestly, this would be more of an Assassin's Creed discussion than FromSoft, because I really don't get why Assassin's Creed gets bashed on these days. I mean, when it comes to Ubisoft, okay, NFTs, good point. What they're doing with the Tom Clancy license, good point. But Assassin's Creed, and Far Cry for that matter, no BS from there. And in Assassin's Creed's case, no BS since Odyssey. Which, by the way, that issue where enemies were purposefully stronger than you to force purchases of XP boosts, that got patched. No one ever brought that up. When I bought that game used, there was an option added where you can switch the level scaling, which completely avoided the need of those XP boosts. I'd rather have enemies not level up with you at all. I'd always hated that idea in RPGs. But Valhalla actually has that setting, and tons more options to make your experience and make your gameplay experience in any way you want, really. And the point of this video is that I ask, okay, why doesn't FromSoft do this? Look at all these settings in the gameplay tab. They're overwhelming. I mean, it's crazy that no one ever talked about this. Not once. By the time I got this used, finally gotten around to playing Valhalla, of course all these options surprised me. I mean, really, there's level scaling, damage scaling, and settings for how stealth pans out. Set if enemies can find you quicker, if you can get out of trouble quicker or not. There's also an option to turn off waypoints. So if you're one of those masochists, you can do that. But the rest of us are not forced to. And all of these settings are on top of difficulty selections. So when it comes to the, difficulty selection discussion, I honestly never thought of this and the other way that this can be done without the actual mode. If FromSoft's too stubborn to add the actual easy mode difficulty, why not either add mods, bring mod support to consoles like Bethesda did? Like, seriously, I'd love to know what exactly Bethesda did to make Microsoft and Sony give the okay to add mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4. I can't believe I'm saying this, but what exactly did Bethesda do that other companies need to do to bring mod support to consoles? And the other route is the topic of this video. Level scaling, damage scaling, just settings where we can just change the scaling of everything to what we want. If FromSoft just doesn't want to put in the actual mode, then just let us put in the mode ourselves via mods or Ubisoft scaling options. Man, I just cannot get over how good these options are. And one of which, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tempted to use, but no, I'm not gonna use that, not in my first playthrough of this. But if others want to go that route, fine. That doesn't affect me. That doesn't affect my playthrough. And yet, Assassin's Creed gets dunked on a lot these days, and again, I don't get it. I don't get why. I recall one tweet that was just infuriating, saying if FromSoft added easy mode, it would become Assassin's Creed. But now that comment is funny to me because it's not really an insult. If FromSoft games had Ubisoft's slider options, then their games would be the best. Instead of having difficulty selections, letting us set how levels and damage, how all of that is done, that would destroy the easy mode discussions. The mod route would be far more fun. But either way, FromSoft really has no excuse for this either. Like, why not go either route? Either way, FromSoft wouldn't have to patch in the actual mode. They wouldn't have to deal with balancing. They wouldn't have to deal what freaking Souls fans think an easy mode would do to the game. So it'd be a win-win situation. Speaking of Souls fans, they dunk on these options too. In fact, they are currently pissed off that an easy mode mod is popular for Elden Ring over on PC. I just don't get why you're not forced to play it. Souls fans have so much pathetic pride, it's insane. They really think beating a FromSoft game is an accomplishment, when it's not. Now back to these slider options. Just, wow, the game is far more fun this way. First off, there's one option that allows hidden blades to kill instantly. In other words, you can, get kills with the hidden blade again. I mean, that was an issue for these RPG Assassin's Creed games for a while, but Valhalla fixed it. The stealth options makes doing stealth routes just far more fun. In fact, the story behind this footage here, I was going to use footage here, before this one where you storm the fortress, you had to sabotage things inside before storming the place. And I thought, okay, let's just take out all the enemies too. And I wiped out the entire fortress single-handedly. Took out everyone, mostly in a stealthy way, either with hidden blade kills or a bunch of headshots, or just a bunch of bow kills in general. I thought it would have been hilarious if after I've done all this, finished up the sabotage, go back and start this attack, that my army wouldn't have had to do anything because I wiped out the entire fortress, and the leader of the whole place would have just been baffled, asking where the heck all of her forces are. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. A shame. I'm pretty sure Nightchen would have been able to pull that off. So again, I ask, why does Assassin's Creed get all this bashing nowadays? And if anyone's going to mention the lore side or Odyssey not focusing on assassins much, you do know there's more to Assassin's Creed to the entire franchise than just Assassins and Templars. Odyssey focused more on the first civilization side, the Isu, or so in the DLC. And Valhalla continues that route. But also, the game certainly covers the assassin side more than Odyssey did. In fact, remember that old mechanic where you blend in with monks so enemies won't track you? You can do that again. Another complaint I tend to see is Ubisoft's open world design and traditional waypoints. And these I don't get. I mean, when it comes to open worlds, there's not much else to do anymore. Ubisoft's style isn't bullshit. It's fine, it's common, it just works. If it's not broken, don't fix it. The waypoints, a convenient thing in every open world game. Except Elden Ring, FromSoft takes that away. But back to the if it's not broke, don't fix it thing. Man, that complaint is clearly why the Assassin's Creed games changed. Some people keep saying they're the same, but you cannot look at, what do we got? 3 different eras of Assassin's Creed games at this point. You cannot look at 1 through Revelations, 3 through Syndicate, and Assassin's Creed Origins through Valhalla and say all the games are the same, as if it's the Call of Duty route. You honestly can't. Yep, Assassin's Creed games get bashed on for this. But on FromSoft's side, they keep rehashing Demon Souls. Well, Dark Souls, but Demon Souls was the start. They haven't made any other game since. They used to make other games, such as Armored Core. But after Dark Souls, just Souls games over and over. Even Bloodborne. The one FromSoft game I actually like. The one FromSoft game that is the closest a FromSoft game ever gotten to being fair and legitimately challenging, has the Dark Souls staples, especially in the DLC. Yet, Souls fans defend them. They never want FromSoft's Souls games to change. So yeah, this discussion will certainly never end until either mods come over to consoles or FromSoft games get these slider options. And back to mods, since PCs got mods, why not bring them to consoles? Like honestly, it's just unfair really that PC players get all the fun with all these crazy mods for any game. Meanwhile, all we got is Skyrim and Fallout 4. One other thing I forgot to bring up. Using a bow and arrow in Assassin's Creed. You know what I don't have to deal with? Arrows hitting the freaking pixels. Like the little tiny pixels over a wall or something. Don't have to deal with that at all. Lastly, even though Assassin's Creed Valhalla isn't 9-gen only, I gotta admit, the game looks good. And there certainly aren't any recycled faces like in Odyssey. Jeez, man, there were so many reused faces in that one.
I promise to you. I trust you'll do the same. An oath between our people.
One more thing. This part was funny right here. You see this character, one cutscene later, his hand is still on fire. I don't know if I should be impressed by that or
We've got
not.
a chance in blazing hell. A parley, then. We must call a parley.